Coming up in this week's show, we go in search of a suitable vehicle for a first-time buyer.
SUVs from Mazda, Kia and VW come under the spotlight.
And we help a viewer decide whether she keeps her cherished 2014 Mercedes-Benz or upgrade to a new model.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Guide. We'll be tackling a fresh batch of your vehicle-related questions and queries once again. And here to help us this week are Dylan Machiva from Mzansi Petrolheads and Michael Pashud from All Things Motoring. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you back again in the studio. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate that.
Remember, if you like the panel's advice, you can send us an email to buyersguide@ignitiontv.co.za. And please include as much detail as you can. Plus, a very nice picture of yourself.
We kick off things with a question from Sihle, who wants to buy their first car within a budget of 300,000 Rand. They considered a VW Polo, but worry about its risk factor. Now they're eyeing a Renault Clio. Sihle seeks advice on the Clio's reliability and parts availability. They're open to second-hand options with a low mileage of around about 15,000 kilometers. He's also open to other suggestions. Mike, let's start with you.
So in the type of mileage range that they're looking at, absolutely no problem with the Renault, but it's always, for me, a better option than a Renault. That's just personal. Yeah. So what I've done lately is I go onto a website and I put in body type sedan or body type hatchback. Yeah. Put in the price range, 250 to 350,000 Rand, and see what comes up. I found something I know you will approve of, Honda Jazz 1.5 Sport.
Nice.
Unbelievable car. Yeah. To me, streets ahead of the Renault, but then a lot is.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So for me, I went and did my research. The newer one is the Clio 5.
Yeah.
And the previous generation one maybe will be the one in terms of its budget to look at. But it has had a few issues. It's been recalled a couple of times for a couple of things, brake hoses, steering rack having problems. But I believe that with the Clio 5, they might have fixed those problems. So that's a nice option to also look at. It's actually a very good-looking car. I actually love it. If he's looking at other options, I would just say look at the Starlet or the Mazda 2.
But you know, with that budget, he can buy new.
Correct. 300,000
Rand, he can buy new.
Buys you the top-of-the-range Starlet, or it buys you the top-of-the-range Suzuki Baleno.
Yeah. Boring.
You could buy a Suzuki Fronx.
You could buy boring. Nobody's going to say, oh my word, what made you choose a Suzuki Starlet? I mean, the Suzuki Baleno, I haven't seen one of those around since this morning.
I'm with you, the Renault's a good-looking car. My only concern is, how long do you want to keep it for? Because later on in life, the maintenance costs are quite expensive. And compared to, and these are factors that you've got to factor into cost of ownership. You know, if I look at a car, I'm always looking at like, when I recommend something that's reliable, something that when you get in, it starts, it goes, and if it doesn't start, it just needs a new battery. You know, it doesn't need, engine's clonked out, or the gearbox has failed. Or
when a user asks you, what is the reliability issues potentially with a Renault? Why are they asking that?
Because they've heard stories.
Correct. Yeah. So immediately I eliminate that. When asked did you hear about reliability issues with a Toyota? When asked you asked the challenges of reliability on a Toyota or Honda?
When I played on the farm as a kid.
100%.
But I quite like that idea of what you said, the Jazz Sport.
Yeah, unbelievable car.
Because
and it looks good.
It does look good. And, I mean, you can drive that car for 20 years.
Or more.
And it's interesting because that wasn't a car that I went looking for. Yeah. As I said, I did that search, and that was the one that stood out for me. Yeah. Good looking.
And don't worry about reliability. Don't even say reliability.
Honda and unreliability are not in the same bracket, in my opinion.
If you break a Honda, it's your fault.
Well done. Yes. You break a Honda, well done.
It's your fault.
Okay, our next viewer is Katerina, a 24-year-old female who is in search for a reliable and fuel-efficient vehicle within a cash budget of 150,000 Rand. The vehicle should be an auto with less than 50,000 kilometers on the clock. Oops. While considering the Suzuki Swift, she was discouraged by a mechanic who told her the vehicle has frequent issues. Well, he probably can't fix cars. Meanwhile, the Honda Brio's limited boot space doesn't meet her needs. What other options should she consider? Firstly, with 150 grand budget, and she's looking for a car below 50,000 kilometers, that's like what Adam says, beer budget, champagne taste.
Correct. But something I think we need to clear up immediately, and it's not that we're here to defend Suzuki, but I have not heard of a single problem with that.
What I must say is some of the Suzuki automatics, the one with the automatic manual transmission, they can...
The AMT.
The AMT, yeah.
Okay. First of all, it's a horrible gearbox. Doesn't work well. And it can be problematic and it can be very expensive to fix. I had this issue recently with one of them, so I know about it. But if you want an automatic, then I would say you want to look for, like Mike mentioned earlier, Honda Jazz. 150,000 Rand buys you. You can buy one. You're not going to get it with 50,000 Ks. You get it with 100,000 Ks, 120,000 Ks. But that's like other cars with having 10,000 Ks.
Yes.
Dylan, what do you think?
So I tried doing the research, as you're saying. His budget is just, Mr. Here, who or she?
150,000.
Yeah. And as I was searching, the only cars I could find in that budget was like a Quid, an i10, and you can just see, like, please stop. But
that's when you need to quit.
The reason I'm laughing was I said this is solely Renault Quid country and stop. Don't go there.
But I found a nice Hyundai i20 with 77,000 kilometers on the clock, and I think that will be a suitable.
See, that's
the fluid, The i20, that's a nice car.
So the i20 is a great option, if but Honda Jazz as well. To find something with 50,000 kilometers, rather buy something that's renowned for reliability with a little bit extra kilometers on it. Because 100,000 Ks on some of these cars is nothing.
It's like new.
Can I throw a positive spin in the works here? Yes. Katarina's raised 150,000 Rand cash. Clearly, that is over a period of time.
She can take me out for a really nice dinner.
100%. Toyota Vitz, Suzuki Celerio, brand new, 200,000 Rand. Yes, it's 50,000 Rand more. At 1,200 Rand a month that you have to put down on or pay on finance, isn't that a good option?
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah. Brand new car.
Take your 150, throw it on there.
Throw it as a deposit.
Finance a small amount.
1,200 Rand a month. You know you've got your service plan for the first 3 years with a Toyota.
Yeah.
Unbelievable option, in my opinion.
But if she doesn't want to finance, then the Honda Jazz is the option.
Absolutely.
Is
just
the option.
Please don't look at the
my concerns on your options would just be the Celerio and the Vitz have only 2 airbags. So for me, in terms of safety issues on that part,
well, you only need it for yourself, so
yeah.
As the driver.
and ask Toyota to cover an advanced driving course.
All right, stay tuned, because after the break, SUVs from Mazda, Kia, and VW come into the spotlight.
And we help a viewer find a Bakkie that suits his application. You're watching Buyer's Guide, and if you've just joined us, welcome to this week's show. Coming from a family of 5, Mokobo is looking for a reliable, fuel-efficient, low-risk, and comfortable SUV within a monthly budget of 10,000 Rand, inclusive of insurance and maintenance plan. He specifies that Chinese cars and Suzukis are not under consideration. Okay. His current options include the Mazda CX-5, VW Tiguan, and Kia Sportage. He's also open to other suggestions. Now, he's got some nice options there, guys.
Very.
So what do you think, Dylan?
With the Mazda CX-5, we spoke about it before, that it's a very reliable car. It actually really works well.
Good looking,
nice all that.
And the good maintenance plan. Everything in.
With the Tiguan, I think you can look at an Allspace. There's also some good ones in terms of that part. I don't know of any issues or risks the Tiguan aligns itself with, but
just remember, Dylan. Just
too
remember.
many.
Okay.
His budget is not 10,000 Rand.
His budget
insurance is about 8,000.
The insurance is coming.
Insurance is the option there.
And then moving on to the Kia Sportage, I only found one online of the newer variants. I'm just not a fan of the older pre-facelift one. It doesn't look well for me. So if he wants a Kia Sportage, go for the newer one.
It's a good, reliable car. I mean, it may have a quirky looks to it, but as a car goes, they're good cars.
Then pick one of the other ones. They look better.
Mazda, I'm with you. You're right.
I'm with you on the Mazda, yeah.
When
CX-5.
you've got
But
simple
not the
options that work, don't complicate your life.
Yeah.
So let's just look at the budget. You said budget is 10,000 Rand, including insurance.
Yeah.
I work on 1,800 Rand, roughly, for insurance.
So work 8 grand as a payment.
100%.
Yeah.
So that gives him 400,000 Rand over 72 months. Mazda CX-5, 2022, under 25,000 kilos. He's getting something spectacular. Tick the box, make your life simple.
So Mazda's marketing plan is terrible because we seem to be the only ones telling people how awesome the Mazda product is.
The other one you
Contact
can
us,
look at that as
we're
well
available.
is the CX-30, which is slightly smaller than the CX-5. But you would also get, I mean, I was looking online on Change Cars this morning, and there was I
You
think,
found them?
Yeah. For like 450 grand, you get yourself literally a car with like 200 Ks on it.
Correct.
So there are options out
That's
there. The
the
Mazda's CX-30, because it's a slightly cheaper version than the CX-5. So
It's a
it'll
nice
fit in
looking
the-
car, eh?
It's a
Unbelievable
beautiful
car.
Very.
The plans are in place, the guarantees in place. It's
Even
a new
the
car.
build quality is
and
phenomenal.
and when last did you hear of a Mazda CX-5 or CX-30 being stolen?
that happens.
The next time will be the first time. Low risk,
Yeah.
and keep it that way, please.
There we go. Okay, right, we're going to move on. Archie is in the farming business. He's looking for a Bakkie with the following models in mind. Volkswagen Amarok, P-Series, Isuzu D-Max, Peugeot Landtrek, and a Nissan Navara. The vehicle should offer a balance between SUV comfort and Bakkie ruggedness. It should also be fuel efficient and have a low theft risk and be able to handle occasional off-road adventures. Which is the best one, Mike?
For me, I mean, he's a farmer. That's for the French Boulevard. There's only two options there for me.
Yeah.
The Isuzu D-Max and the Nissan Navara, funny enough, in that order.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of that Isuzu. I cannot tell you, from a farming community point of view, the dealer network, that car was fit for purpose for him.
Yeah.
And I like the Navara
You know,
very
I
much.
like that, but I think the D-Max won't be as nice on the interior
And the refinement.
and refined as a Navara or a new Mitsubishi Triton.
Yeah, but I like the Navara because of the comfort.
The Navara is
You said
superb.
comfort, yeah. Dylan?
So with
That's
me,
an expert.
I'm a bit of a biased person when it comes to Bakkies. So the Isuzu D-Max, I agree with you, it's a very good car, but my issue with it is he's looking for the comfort of the SUV.
Yes.
On that, I would bring the Ford Ranger XL, the newer ones, in terms of risk. I know the old ones have stories of being hijacked. I haven't heard any stories with the newer
Give him a
variants.
chance.
Give him a chance, yeah.
We got to work out. Yeah.
But those
But
are
I've heard it also is not so reliable mechanically.
but those are in the newer models, the first ones which have been released. There's been a bit of fixing here and recalls fixing those cars.
Yeah, look,
lately.
I think they get a bad rap because I must say I do a lot of Rangers and they have the odd problems, but they're not as bad as people make out. Mike, I agree with you there in terms of there's only two to choose from. The Isuzu, which is an excellent vehicle, and the Navara.
But you'd swap them around.
I would have the Navara. One, because it's got a 2.5 engine that's been around for donkey's years. They're capable of doing 500,000 Ks, very low risk, extremely comfortable because they've got coil springs on the back as opposed to normal leaf springs. I find that Bakkie extremely comfortable.
The
Very
Nissan
good.
dealer network is superb.
Yeah, there's lots of dealer networks around. And the Isuzu being a great Bakkie, it's just a bit,
It's a Bakkie.
it's a Bakkie.
Yeah,
It's
that's what it's meant
agricultural.
for.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
not as, you know, it's not as, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's just, I find when I get into it, it's like, it's a bit hard to drive.
Also the sound, like you can hear, like
It's
if you're
like a
driving a
donkey.
diesel, like
Yeah.
you feel that you're
Yeah.
driving a bike.
It's like you've got a 1980s diesel engine in there.
So we're all fundamentally on the same page.
He also mentioned the P series, and one thing I just say about those Bakkies, they haven't seen the reliability. We need to wait a bit and see how long they actually last, because
And
they
you
also
need
they
to
also
see
have a
them
lot of
off-road
technology.
and not driving around Sandton.
Yeah.
Look, I think it is an option. You know, if you said to me, Peugeot Landtrek or P-Series,
P series,
P-series all day
obviously,
long.
yeah, between
So-
the two.
but you've got two other really good Bakkies in there. So either one of them, whichever, go and drive them both and see which one suits your application, and that's really the best way to go about it.
We'll be taking a short break, but when we return, we help a viewer decide whether she keeps a cherished 2014 Mercedes-Benz or upgrades to a newer model.
And we advise a viewer dealing with an oil leak in their vehicle. Nava hails from Durban. He's the proud owner of a 2014 Mercedes-Benz CLA 200. It's the 1.6 turbo petrol with the 7G Tronic gearbox. Purchased in May 2015 with only 18,000 kilometers. Currently, the vehicle has only done 72,000 kilometers on the clock and has a history of being serviced at the dealership. As a pensioner, she only drives about 5,000 k's a year. With her vehicle approaching its 10-year mark, Nava is contemplating whether to keep her current car or transition to the later model CLA Mercedes. Dylan, what do you think?
She's keeping her car. Her car has been with her. She fixes it, and she doesn't even drive that much. I mean, for a car that's that old with those kilos on the clock, she can keep the car. Just do your research and extend the warranty plan if it's ending, and continue being happy. I don't see any reason for her to go look for
And
a
they'll
new
steal this car from her when she takes it in for a trade-in. They
They'll
will
run for it. They'll run for it.
steal it from her.
I feel like this is one of those vehicles when they say lady-driven, they actually mean lady-driven.
100%. So look at the car itself. You see a 2015 CLA parked in the parking lot, 9 years old, on paper. Still looks new, looks modern, looks up to date. Your average person will look at that and say, wow, look at that nice new Mercedes.
Yeah.
Short, again, we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
You cannot sell that car. But if you do wish to sell it,
Fine, Mark,
buy
you'll
it.
buy like everybody looking for cars like that. So that's the kind of car we call basically
unicorn.
a unicorn. You don't see many of them around, low mileage like that. Definitely keep the
But
car.
I can tell you guys now what's happened here. We took it in for a service,
Yes.
and the dealer told her, you know what?
Get a new one.
Get rid of this car now because bills are going to be piling up.
You're
and blah, blah,
in
blah.
your 60s. The last
you
thing you
want
want to do is to break down on the side of the road and have problems.
Yeah.
You know?
But they forget to tell her that she's not going to. That's not
gonna
going to
have
happen.
problems.
So what I would
besides that-
advise here is you keep the car and you find yourself a really good aftermarket workshop that knows Mercedes and
yes.
looks after it, because that will literally half your maintenance costs of the vehicle. And it'll last you
It's just sad she's from Durban. Or she
Easy.
could just bring it to me.
easy 200,000. I said a good, reliable.
That's why I said bring it to me. Don't go to Adam.
200. Let's say it does 200,000 Ks. So at the mileage she's doing now, she's got another 25 years worth of driving in it. So keep it. Do
That will
not-
make her 95.
And,
Yeah,
and
95.
besides, if she sells it, and maybe going back to Mercedes, have you seen the starting price of the cheapest Mercedes-Benz?
That's
With
like
all the
$1 million.
technology.
Rand,
She's
yes.
66 and trying to tap all those things there. Just stick,
I know.
stick where you are.
I can't even switch my cell phone on.
No, guys, that's being ageist now. Because she's 66, she doesn't know how to.
No, but also for us,
No, but you're
young
right.
people, we have
too
struggles, haptic touch, and it's just too much. Like, we enjoy it. There was a study done that Mercedes-Benz is close to 200 and something features, but we only use 5 of them.
Yeah.
They even remove some and no one notices.
Yeah.
So there's no
Give me
need.
some knobs.
I have a Land Rover Discovery 3. I want to put the radio louder, it's
Yeah.
left to right. I want to tune it, it's left or right. I know where everything is. I want to put the
Simple.
lights on,
Yeah.
and there's no touch screen.
Yeah.
So back
Just
to your
fine for
car.
me.
Keep it.
Keep it. Okay, our last question is from Grant, who hails also from Durban. He purchased a second-hand car for cash from a dealership located in Johannesburg. Oops. The dealership failed to disclose any history of the car being involved in an accident. He later noticed a liquid pooling where the car was parked. Upon inspecting further, he discovered an oil leak under the bonnet. He has not yet initiated communication with the dealership regarding this issue. How can he go about resolving this matter? It's not even a matter yet. Grant, contact the people who sold it to you, see what they'll do for you. If it's still within the 6-month period, you got every option to, they will resolve it for you, even though you're down in Durban. If they're a reputable dealership, they will resolve it.
There's so many variables at play here that we don't know. Predominantly, who is the dealership?
Yes.
At face value, you've just got to deduce that it's a scam dealership or a very splendid dealership.
Most probably.
If it was a reputable franchise-approved dealership, I assure you, he would have picked up the phone, spoken to dealer principal, and his problem would have been en route to being
Well,
solved.
he hasn't found them yet.
Correct,
Yes.
but why? He hasn't found them because he just knows the whole experience of buying this car was unpleasant.
Yeah.
These guys didn't look like they were above board. Where do I start?
I mean,
it's why it's coming to
he
us.
mentioned that they didn't mention that the car had an accident. And if he himself can see that the car has an accident, they also saw the car has an accident.
You're right,
And
100%
then- so they
right.
chose
But the
not
car, it doesn't say, he's not saying the car was involved in an accident. He says the dealer didn't disclose if it was involved in an
So
accident.
he doesn't know.
So
Maybe
he's assuming because of the challenges
Because of
he's
the
got.
oil
Problems,
leak that
okay.
the car was in an accident.
But then-
now that's a very, very bad assumption.
So
And like Mike says,
from that, as Mike said,
too many variables here.
yeah, the dealership also. But if he goes to the dealership and speaks to them and they're not going along with him, get a lawyer, get to know your consumer rights, and work on it.
But
Because
you see, he's in Durban.
Yeah, so the simple thing to do here is to phone up the dealer and say, look, I have an oil leak. Don't take it anywhere else to have it checked. Ask the dealer, can I take it to a place?
Yeah.
Can I check and see what it is? And then before we do anything, we get back to you and see what cost is involved to repair. You may find this oil leak could just be an oil filter that's got an oil leak.
Not tight.
And it's a
no.
matter of somebody tightening it or
Or it's a
replace it.
sump
It could be
plug
very simple.
washer that needs to get replaced.
But do not leave that, because if you have an oil leak and you're driving around, just now there's no oil in the car and the engine seizes, then it's actually negligence on
On your
your
part,
behalf,
yeah.
because you need to actually, you have a responsibility to check the fluid levels in your car. So phone the dealer, explain to me you've got an oil leak, what should I do? If you get a hard time from them, then you can go along because it is your consumer rights that vehicle should be repaired by them for 6 months.
As long as you're dealing with a garage of repute. If you're dealing with a Joburg Central dealer, you've got a problem. But let's look at it from another angle. Do you think Grant is unique? Grant's the only person who's bought a car on the internet and he's not happy.
No.
What is the advice that we have to give to the viewers? If you are not sure 100% about the caliber of dealer,
leave it.
Get somebody to go look at that car for you.
I feel like there's also that thing of, if it looks too good, then it's too good to be true. There's many times when you go online and search for cars, and you'll just see the price compared to what other dealers.
The other thing, Grant,
no bargains online, guys. Bargains are not what dealers get.
Grant should have considered the fact that he's in Durban and the dealership is in Johannesburg. Even if it was a reputable dealership, if something goes wrong in Durbs, what do you do? So, if you're going to buy from an area around.
Buy local.
Buy local.
But you know what you guys in Durbs do? You want to come to Joburg because we don't have any rust on our cars. That's why. Yeah,
you do know I'm not from Durban.
Sorry, from Chatsworth, then you come to
Joburg. Get it right.
KZN, yeah. All right, guys, so we know what to do there. Just phone the dealer, and I'm sure hopefully they'll help you. Okay, and with that, unfortunately, we've come to the end of this week's show. Thank you, Dylan and Michael, for your great information today, and I'm sure our viewers are very happy with that.
Yes, thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, remember to keep left, pass right, and please keep it safe on the roads.